This is Tim Bryce with my column titled, A Tale of Two Videos. Last week, shortly after the Florida primary election, I happened to sit down with some friends over a friendly libation or two. We discussed many things, but the conversation inevitably turned to politics due to the outcome of the election. Aside from myself, the others lean to the Democrats and do not like President Trump, claiming he acts unpresidential. His record of accomplishments is meaningless to them, just his unpresidential character. Frankly, I do not understand this mentality. Thank God for his unorthodox behavior. Other presidents may have acted presidential, but look at the mess they left us. As Trump says at his rallies, it is a lot easier to act presidential than to do what I do. During the conversation, my friends contended President Trump is a racist. Naturally, I challenged their source. Nothing was forthcoming other than they believed he influenced GOP nominee for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' conduct, whereby he used the word monkey in an on-air interview. The press leapt on this and accused him of being a racist. At that moment, I was unfamiliar with the interview, but I looked it up on YouTube afterwards and found he had said,
"The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up by trying to embrace a socialist agenda with huge tax increases and bank."
This was a reference to the Florida economy and the perceived problems should the Democrats get elected in November. DeSantis' use of the word monkey went viral overnight, and voters were left with the impression the candidate was a racist, as well as President Trump. This was the media's attempt to smear DeSantis by making something out of nothing. Interestingly, President Obama made use of the same expression in the same context. If Mr. DeSantis is a racist, then most definitely former President Obama is one as well. Yet he was never accused as such by the news media. In response to my friends, I mentioned a recent meeting President Trump had with black pastors at the White House. During the session, one of the pastors said,
and I will say this administration has taken a lot of people by surprise, and it's going to surprise you guys even more, because this is probably the most proactive administration regarding urban America and the faith-based community in my lifetime. And I'll be 60 years old in December. But this is probably going to be and I'm going to say this at this table, the most pro-black president that we've had in our lifetime. Because, and I try to, analyze the people that I encounter. This president actually wants to prove something to our community, our faith-based community and our ethnic community. The last president didn't feel like he had to. He felt like he didn't have to. He got a pass. This president, this administration is probably going to be more proactive regarding urban revitalization and prison reform than any president in your lifetime.
My friends were unaware of this video. I was only made aware of it a few days before by a friend on social media. As to the news media, they buried the story as it was complimentary to the president. I do not suffer under the illusion our president is a saint, but then again, none of us are. What's the old expression? Let he who is without sin cast the first rock. The problem is the news media has been throwing a barrage of rocks at the president since his first day of office. This flies in the face of their August 16th newspaper editorials claiming their innocence in covering Mr. Trump. These two videos demonstrate the opposite. The DeSantis video goes well beyond fake news. It is malicious malignment at its worst. Anyone who tells you otherwise is a bald-faced liar. What disturbs me is my friends are willing pawns of the news media and do not contest the integrity of their reporting. In other words, they're perfectly willing to allow the media to do the thinking for them. Yes, I'm angry when I see an insignificant story like the DeSantis interview blown out of proportion based on a false supposition. I'm angry when the public is not made aware of the accomplishments of Mr. Trump, not just his meeting with the black pastors, but events like the Consumer Price Index hitting an 18-year high, or the redevelopment of the NAFTA treaty, all of which are either falsely maligned or deliberately hidden from public view. Yes, I am angry when I see such injustice. It is no small wonder the public is gravitating to social media to get their news, as they no longer trust the news media. Who would have ever thought YouTube would be more reliable in video coverage than the mainstream media? I guess it's time to start picketing the news media. No, they are most definitely not fair and balanced. Better yet, just turn them off and seek the truth on social media. You won't find it in the mainstream media. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce of Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.